Hey, welcome to Monday Club. My name is Peter Bois.
I'm Gus Davis.
And we are your saviors of Monday.
Monday Club.
Welcome to Monday Club! Episode 45! My name is Peter Bois. I'm here with my amazing pal, Gus Davis, and welcome to this week's episode of Monday Club. We cheers to the brave balls of a skateboarder. A new segment called In the News, very original. A comic gets attacked. We're going to talk about that. Dirty little football quiz. Gus eats robot sushi. Huh? Peter has a strange run-in with a couple of audience members. Gus has a new airplane defensive strategy, and we teach you things. Welcome to Monday Club. Hallelujah! It's Monday!
What's up, man? How you doing?
Not much. How are you doing?
I'm really good. I'm really happy to be back at home. Recording from being on the road is always super weird for me. So, yeah, this is really nice.
Welcome home.
Yeah, I can be as loud as the hell I want because I'm sitting in my own house. But it's weird when you're on the road and you're in a hotel. I just know that everyone can hear everything that I'm saying. And it's even weirder because I think they're only getting half of the conversation, right? So it sounds like a crazy person just talking to themselves and laughing in their room.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what we are, I guess.
Yeah. But you're here. Monday Club's here. I guess it's good.
Yeah, it's nice to be. I just started my my traveling a little bit, so it's nice to be out doing shows after my Christmas, New Year's break-ish.
Yeah, it's been really fun looking at your notes in the Monday Club segments, and it's like, oh look, now Pete's going out and doing stuff again.
I'm finally doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Magic tricks for money.
Hey, so I know that you're home today, but isn't there some weird stuff happening at your house right now?
Yeah, I feel like you in a hotel room because there's a guy upstairs. His name is Sam, very awesome, nice guy, and he's putting our kitchen floors on. We're redoing our kitchen, so if you hear banging, that is Sam upstairs doing some awesome things to our kitchen. So for the last few days, we've had nothing. We've just had plywood floors on our mudroom and our kitchen, and we've had a lot of splinters in the feet. And our stove is in the dining room along with our dishwasher. So we've been forced to live like we're in the 1950s without a dishwasher, washing everything by hand.
You poor bastard.
I know, the pain is real, bro. And our refrigerator is in our living kitchen. No, not our kitchen. Dining room. That's the room I'm looking for as well. So everything is kind of all in disarray in my house.
Oh, man. So Sam's just going to listen to you just yell and scream and laugh and drink by yourself in the basement? Is that pretty much what's happening?
Yeah, sure. If he comes down, I'll pour him some whiskey. That'll be fine. Maybe he'll join us.
Well, you know what? Let's preemptively do a cheers to Sam.
Cheers to you, Sam.
Oh, man. Well, we have a very interesting cheers of the week. This was found on the old Reddits, and here's the thing. There's a lot of cool skateboarding videos that I've seen. I mean, people do some amazing stuff. Did you ever play that old school Tony Hawk video game?
Yes.
I mean, that's a classic video game, right? Well,
yeah, it was
anyway.
awesome. It made me feel like I could actually skateboard.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
me too.
I'm the best. I can do flips.
Right. And it also made me think that, skateboarders just go down and they do giant jumps and then they, skateboard on top of roofs and off lights and stuff. And, that's all really cool and easy. And then you actually watch them and you're like, do people just get hurt left and right?
Yeah, I wonder if skateboarders felt the same way about Tony Hawk's game as magicians feel about Chris Angel. You can't do that shit in real life.
Yeah, probably. Probably. But I think it probably felt a lot the same way, as in, man, you can't do that shit in real life, but also they're getting all of the attention and credit and bringing a spotlight to the sport or to the genre, and so it's like, God damn you, Chris Angel, and your
True. Everybody kind of paid attention to skateboarding a little more after that. The X Games, I think, were coming in at that time too.
Yeah. I saw a quote from Tony Hawk that said something along the lines of, that game came out and that made him need to learn how to skate.
He's like, I have to live up to this video game.
I have to live up to this video game. And that video game lasted, I don't know if they're still making them, but I mean, it lasted well over a decade. Anyway, we got off on a weird tangent. So this is a skateboarding
Back to
video.
skateboarders and balls. Brave balls.
Yeah.
Sweaty brave balls. They're sweating with anticipation of being
I would,
hurt.
man. So this is a trick that I saw online, and it was something I've never seen before, so we thought we'd share it with you. It is a skateboarder who ollies up onto a rail, like, like a fence rail, basically, right?
Yeah, I'd call it a walkway rail.
Okay,
it has
yeah.
2 levels. It has one lower horizontal bar and then one upper horizontal bar.
Right, and he straddles the upper horizontal bar with his skateboard balancing on the lower horizontal bar.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to do all of these kick tricks where he'll jump up and make the skateboard do all kinds of cool stuff and then land it and balance it and stuff like that. The thing about these tricks are, not only are the tricks impressive, and that's really cool that you can do that with your skateboard, but all that has to happen is you mess up a tiny bit, and the result isn't just that you don't make the trick. The result is that you have now thrown your body down as hard as it can go with a gravity assist right down on your junk.
Yeah. And you've earned yourself a trip to the urologist. Yeah, one small slip. This guy's straddling the upper bar with his legs. One small slip, and crunch, crunch. Batman gets a boner. Call back, episode 2.
Well done. Yeah, I don't know how many times this guy had to practice to do this trick, but I'm hoping that he nailed it the first time and was like, that's it, done, never going to do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it on video. No need to try that shit.
Nope, ever again. Yeah, man, there's so many things that people do that you wonder, like, not only why did you do that, but how did you do that the first time? Do you know, like...
Yeah, it's not like you have a safety bar up there.
No. Oh man, yeah. The only time I ever rode a skateboard, I got a skateboard when I was like, I don't know, I think I was 7 years old for Christmas, and I took it outside. I put one foot on it. I put the other foot on it. It slipped out from under me, and I broke my left arm.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was my skating career.
Wow.
It was like a commercial or like a funny show, right? Like a funny TV show. Like you couldn't have planned it any better / worse, right? Like quite literally 1 foot up, second foot up, the board's gone, my arm's broken, we're going to the hospital.
I feel so insecure on a skateboard. Yeah, I've been on them and have gone like 5 or 6 feet in one stretch, but I feel like I'm gonna kill myself. They're not for me.
Well, and I don't trust anything that doesn't have a brake, man. Like I see all these kids that are skating on like right next to the main downtown roads that are here in Austin, and it's like they go up to a stoplight and they have to bail off their boards and catch their boards before their boards go out into traffic. And I guess that's part of the appeal, but man, anything I'm going to ride has to have a brake.
Have you seen...
I would also like it to have an emergency brake and possibly a seatbelt.
Have you seen the boosted boards, the electronic skateboards with a motor that you hold the control in your hand? Oh my God, they're all over YouTube. Yeah, you have a controller in your hand with a forward and a back. I'm not sure if it has a brake or just if you take your finger off the accelerator button, it just kind of slows down. But they can go like 25, 30 miles an hour.
Oh, screw that. Yeah,
and they're
absolutely
insane.
not. Yeah, no, hell no. On that note, man, have you seen the downhill luge people? Like they do the street luge, and they're basically just laying on it's not a skateboard, but imagine laying down on your back on a skateboard and then just going down a mountain road.
That just sounds frightening.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
My first question is, do they close the road off to traffic, or are they weaving in and out of cars?
I mean, for the professionals, I'm sure they do. For the dumb kids, I'm sure they're just like, screw it, man, let's go for it.
Yeah. Oh, my God. There was a story in Sunday River is a ski place a couple hours from here, one of the two big mountains in Maine. And some students from, I want to say, Portsmouth, New Hampshire or Massachusetts went up there one night. Places closed. They snuck onto Sunday River and started snow tubing down ski slopes, and one of them died. Oh. Yeah. Talk about stupid. But that's terrible tragedy. Yeah. And on that note, cheers to the brave balls of the skateboarder. Cheers!
Yeah. Cheers to your big balls. So I'm going to go ahead and just admit that I'm being super lame. I have not had a chance to go out and get a new type of beverage, but I'm really enjoying this beverage by the infamous brewing company in Austin, Texas, called Sweep the Leg. It is so good, and it is a peanut butter stout, and it tastes like... It tastes like a picnic beer, if that makes sense. It tastes like something you would take outside on a picnic and be like, I'm having a peanut butter stout for lunch.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
again, I would
really
still
good.
like to have one.
Yeah,
But,
well, I'll send it to you.
Thanks, appreciate it. I am having, I'm sorry to be boring as well, I'm just having some Woodford Reserve whiskey in a glass, no ice, straight up. It's delicious. And the reason is I can't go in my kitchen, so I can't mix a drink. So I grabbed a bottle of whiskey in a glass and brought it to my office.
To Sam.
Yeah.
Hurry up, Sam.
Thanks, Sam. You got me drunker quicker than I would have by myself. Thank you guys so much for listening to Monday Club. Thank you for being part of the club. We love you. We want to love more of you, though, so make sure you are telling your friends about Monday Club. We want to make the club large and huge and large and huge. And give us a little love up on iTunes. Give us a little write a review and 5 stars, please. That always helps to spread the word. We're also on Spotify. Check us out there. You can listen on Spotify and YouTube. The audio and video is up on YouTube. We have a little 20-minute highlight video of the episode on YouTube, so you can see our smiling faces. And that's why we're giving you more ways to party on a Monday.
That's right. So I want to give a Monday Club challenge to all of you Monday Club warriors out there. If you have a friend that you have not told about Monday Club, just tell one person. Tell a friend. Just be like, hey, listen to this episode. It's my favorite episode, and get them hooked. It's like Monday Club is like a gateway drug podcast. The first one's free. After that, you got to start spreading it around to the playgrounds.
Yeah, we don't ask for money. Just a little
Monday Club love.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
So, man, I know that your kitchen floors are being installed. So what else is going on with you, dude?
I've been on the road a little bit, and while I was on the road, I got Nate's book. We've been talking about Nate Standiforth's book, Hair's Magic, a lot on this podcast, and I got it, and I've been reading it, and I finished it on Saturday. I sat in a coffee shop having cups of coffee for 4 hours and finished off the book. And
that's awesome.
It was fucking amazing book. I loved every moment of it. It brought tears to my eyes at one point at the end. It choked me up a bit. It was very touching and inspiring. And for anybody that needs a good inspiration or a good story too, because it's all about his story going to India, looking to recapture his love for magic, really, and life, because people burn out, and you need to rekindle that flame about why you're doing what you're doing. And it was a fantastic book, and I feel inspired by it. So if you haven't already,
really
go pick it up.
Yeah, and tell you what, man, if you haven't picked it up and you want to read it and you're not sure about it, contact us. We can send you a copy. Well, I have a loaner copy that somebody out there can have if you just want to check it out. So please check Nate's book out. Also, if you do have his book, go ahead and same thing as for Monday Club. Go up and review the book on Amazon. He needs all the love and review that the book can get, so it can get more traction in Steam. Did you see that? He has mostly 5-star reviews, and then somebody put a 2-star review on there.
Yeah,
but did you read?
I read
did.
it.
Yeah. So the 2-star review says this guy sounds like he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah,
Which is funny because Nate has not a jerk bone in his body.
Yeah, he's the nicest guy in the world.
He really is the nicest guy in the world.
And the reason why he thinks this person thinks this guy's a jerk because he left his wife behind. I don't know if this woman or man who wrote the review is living in the 1920s, but, women can actually live on their own these days. Nate's wife, I don't know her very well, but she seems like a very smart, very independent person that can handle herself with or without Nate. So
yeah, also, it wasn't like she woke up and there was a note that said, gone to India.
Yeah.
Be back later.
Like, geez, wow. So that, I totally disregarded that.
Yeah. So, but anyway, to help counteract that negative review, please leave Nate some love. He definitely deserves it. And check out the book. The book's great. Like I said, if you don't have a copy and you need one for free, hit us up. We got you.
Yeah. Hey, guess what?
What?
This summer, I am going to be doing Conjuring at the Colony again in Kennebunkport, Maine.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Thanks, man. So instead of doing 10 weeks, I'm going to be doing 12 weeks. We're starting 2 weeks earlier to try to build a little bit more momentum going into the season. So I'm pumped. So if you're going to be in Maine, make sure you check out petermagician.com for all the ticket sales and information on where you can see the show. It's at the Colony Hotel in Kennebunkport, Maine, starting June 14th to August 30th, every Thursday night.
That's awesome. Thursday at what time, do you know?
8 p.m.
All right. Cool. Well, I want to come. I'll be there. I'll be at least at one show.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You can stay at my place.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. We'll make it a family trip. We'll come up. We'll check it out. And then you owe me at least one brewery experience while we're up there.
Dude, I can offer you many brewery experiences. I will bring you to Funky Bow Brewery. You will love that place.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Do they have beer flights?
It's a down home brewery. It's all outdoors. They have some overhangs, so you can be under in shade, but they just have music playing outdoors, and they make the best pale ale I've ever had in my life. And they have wood
my
fire
mouth literally
pizzas.
started to drip right there.
Yeah.
I love pale ale.
Oh, you're gonna love this place. It's like a Maine experience.
All right. Well, then this is kind of a foreshadowing for later, but maybe we'll go to the brewery first, and then afterwards I'll go to your Conjuring at the Colony and just heckle you. I'll get on stage and heckle you.
That would be hilarious.
It would. Until it got rowdy.
Just don't attack me with a mic stand.
That's right. Oh, nice foreshadowing. All right. So, dude, before we get into that, I wanted to say that I got home. I was home for like 24 hours, and Shannon and I went out on a date, and we wanted to go have some sushi. And she's like, "Look, there's a sushi restaurant I want to take you, but the sushi's really not that good. So let's go to a different sushi restaurant first and have good sushi, and then go check this place out." And I was like, "All right, that sounds fine." So we go and we have good sushi and good conversation and all that. And then for dessert, we went to this other sushi restaurant. Man. I got to describe it for everyone so everybody can sort of see what I saw. We walk in, and you're greeted by basically a robot. It's a freestanding robot that's just a screen that you type in all of your info, how many people in your party, what part of the place you want to sit in, and your phone number so it can text you when you're ready, when it's ready. So we did that, and then immediately we got a text that was like, "Hey, your booth is this thing, so you follow this." They actually had a waitstaff person, so you follow this one waitstaff person over to a booth, and it's a sushi restaurant that is all on conveyor belts. So the kitchen's in the back, and then there's this like serpentine conveyor belt that goes all around, connecting all of the tables in the restaurant. And they just have these trays that are covered trays that have like 2 or 3 pieces of sushi that are labeled in each tray. And so what you do is you're sitting at like basically everything's a booth, right? You're sitting at the booth, and there's a computer screen at your booth that if you take a tray off of the conveyor belt, it has like a scoreboard on there for you. So every tray you take off the conveyor belt is like $2.50. Every 5 trays that you take, it'll play a like congratulations video for you. Okay? And then you take the tray, and the way it knows how many plates you've had, you take the little tray thing that comes on it, and there's a perfect little slot that you drop the tray in that gives you like points, right? So you're like eating and playing a video game. Well, when you get to 15 trays, when you've ordered 15 times, there's like a connected network of tubes that are over this computer thing at every single booth, and at 15 a little like ball drops down and rolls to your table, and you get like a prize, like a little figurine or a yo-yo or something like that, right? And so all of these, it's like 15 little small trays of sushi doesn't sound like much, but multiply that by 3 times. I mean, that's a pretty hefty meal. But by the time you get to 13, you're like, I mean, shit, for 2 more trays, we can get the little toy ball thing that comes out of the sky, right? Anyway, it was crazy, man. It was like they turned sushi into a video game, and it was cool, man. Like, the experience was great. She was absolutely right. The sushi there was not looking good. That being said, I'll have to give it one more try because we went like 30 to 45 minutes before they were closing, and I'm sure they were not putting out the best stuff on the conveyor belt. But the other thing that's cool is on the computer screen, you can order off of the computer screen, and they'll make it in the back. And then there's another conveyor belt that's on top of the first one that they will fast track you anything that you order from the kitchen. So we just sat there and ordered like mochi and some sesame balls and some other yummy stuff, and it just all came directly over to our table on the conveyor belt, and we took it off and then played our little game and dropped the plates in. It was cool, man. It was a fun experience.
They've gamified eating.
Yeah,
that's
right?
crazy. So you went and had a full meal, and then you had another full meal because you wanted to get the little guy?
Pretty much, we tried, yeah. But I mean, we only made it to like 4 plates before we were like, "Oh, there's no way this is happening." But but it is cool, and it's fun. Like the computer will go blank, the menu computer thing will go blank, and it'll like encourage you, like, keep it up, you're almost there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh man, wow, that's interesting. Is this a thing that happens in Japan and it's being brought over to America, or is this something uniquely American made?
My guess is they have much better places, but very like techno oriented like that in parts of Japan.
Yeah.
But the experience, like you said, turning it into a video game, anything that's interactive, so your group can be there and can kind of form a team, turns your eating experience not just into eating, but also into like a team bonding experience. And so, yeah, man, like while we're sitting there, like I said, all we had was desserts. But while we're sitting there, there's stuff happening, and we're like poking buttons and seeing how we're gonna make things work, and it was cool, dude. It was a fun little date thing. So
That's
I give
cool.
this place 10 out of 10 for experience, and don't go right before they close because their sushi looks awful.
Oh man, the only thing were they playing 8-bit Nintendo style music like?
Man, that would have been super cool. I'm gonna see if I can find the name of this place.
I sent you an article that we're not talking about today, but we could, about the sushi eater. Did you see that?
Yeah, I actually thought about that when I saw the sushi that was coming out that wasn't very good. You can go ahead and say it. Let me go ahead and say the name of this restaurant, though. If you're in Austin, it's the Kula Revolving Sushi Bar. Kula Revolving Sushi Bar. You can look it up. Like I said, it was a super fun experience. But leading into what you were talking about, Pete had just sent me this article about a guy who pulled out, what was it, a 5-foot tapeworm?
5.5 foot long tapeworm.
That he is like 99% sure he got from eating bad sushi.
Yeah, the headline is, sushi-obsessed man pulls 5-foot tapeworm out of his rectum. And, quote, it came wiggling out.
Oh, God.
That's so crazy!
Oh, it's awful. Oh. Do you know that, man, God damn it, people are so stupid. So I read another thing that was talking about how people try to intentionally get tapeworms as a method of weight loss.
Yeah, because it eats all your food. Dude, there's a picture of it in the article. Sorry, go ahead.
It's gross. It's disgusting. Yeah, I mean, listen, for the love of God out there, don't try to get a tapeworm to try to lose weight. One, it doesn't always work. Like this guy said, he didn't lose any weight. He just had a 6-foot tapeworm. And two, that's gross. Don't do that. That's awful. You're stupid.
Yeah.
Don't be a Tide Pod eating dumbass.
Oh my God.
Just don't. Just for the love of God, let's be better.
It comes from salmon. Oh, I love salmon. Oh, it could grow up to 30 feet long.
Yeah, I saw that too, that somebody has a 30-foot tapeworm. Yeah, I think you're probably dying at the spot where you have a 30-foot tapeworm.
Oh, it's so gross. Sorry, I'm freaked out by this.
Well, we'll post a picture of the tapeworm. Oh, that's so gross.
Man.
All right, we got to move on because I just creeped myself out.
Yeah, Do you think whiskey kills tapeworms?
I hope it does. Otherwise, I'm going to have to drink some hot bleach.
California rolls for me from here on out. Oh, man. So what is up? What else is up with you, man, besides sushi tapeworms?
Let's. Oh God, yeah. So today is I have 2 days here at home before I have to hit the road again, and then when I come back, my wife's parents are coming in, and they're coming and visiting us and seeing our new house and all this, and so we're trying to get like the house scraped out and make it look as clean as possible, and Bryce is just getting over being sick, so we're trying to scrape everything out and wash everything. Anyway, that's what is happening inside the house. Outside the house, as soon as I hit the road last week, I got a picture from Shannon where she showed me that somebody, some jackhole had spray painted on our fence, on our outdoor fence, like quite literally the week before her parents come and visit us and see this new house. And it's like, it just adds so much insult. It's like, first of all, don't mess with our fence. 2, you're 12. You're not a gangster. And 3, like, come on.
Do you know who it is?
No, I wish I did. It's funny because I have all these cameras that we put up, but they're all around doors and windows and stuff. I didn't think I had to put cameras on the outside of our house, like on the outside of our fence.
True. What did they spray paint? Was it?
It's just a tag, man. It's like some weird old English scrawl, and it's not that big. Like, I'll be able to power wash it out, I guess. It's super annoying, and it's really annoying because I'm sure that her parents are going to come in, and they're the type of people who that's the first thing that they're going to see.
Oh, really? And they're going to point out all the imperfections that they find, and no,
yeah, and they're going to do it all sweet, like, oh well, I wish you were in a better neighborhood, and it's like, damn it.
Oh man. Well, that sucks, man.
Yeah, thanks.
You should go around hiring. You should go to each door and be like, "Hey, I'm looking. Excuse me, ma'am. I'm looking for a child to paint my fence for a few dollars. Do you know of anybody? Can I go into your garage? Do you have any paint in there?"
Yeah,
look for spray paint cans of the same color.
Yo, you think I should just go super sleuth on my neighborhood?
Totally. Real life superhero, man. You should dress up, put a cape on, get your mask going. It'll be Gus the Great. No, Amazing Gus.
You're an asshole. All right, we're gonna move on. So let's move on to this segment. You're the one who wanted to start this. This is our in the news segment, right?
Boom, in the news. Yeah, we don't have a cool audio for you yet, but
here I got you. Here we go. This week in the news. Huh?
Oh, that was good. That was
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
that was very good. I like that. All right. This week in the news, we have a comic at Steve Brown from the he was performing at the Comedy House in South Carolina, gets attacked by an audience member. And when I say attacked, I'm not just talking words. I'm talking this guy jumps up. There's a video of it, links in the show notes. He gets attacked. The guy from the audience picks up the mic stand and starts swinging it around. The bass flies off the stand, and he starts swinging around. He's got this big old gash in his arm from the mic stand, and then when he loses control of that, he picks up the bar stool and starts swinging that at him. It's freaking insane.
Oh my God! Yeah, everyone should watch this video for a number of reasons. Because the comedian, what's the comedian's name again?
Steve Brown.
Steve Brown has there's a link to his thoughts about this afterwards, and it's like from Steve Brown's perspective, he says this guy wasn't provoked. He wasn't like poking the guy, and you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't like re-heckling the guy. He said the attacker was initially having a good time, and then just slapped his girlfriend, pushed the girlfriend's mother out of the way. They had one security guard that came over to try to like see what the ruckus was. That security guard just stood idly by while this audience member jumped up on stage and assaulted this comedian. And I was watching that, and from just as a performer, being in a spot where there is security and having security not do anything is like, I can't even imagine how pissed he is about that.
Yeah, they're supposed to be there for that exact reason, not just taking IDs and kicking out young kids, you know? Like,
right.
Yeah.
You're getting paid to be security. There's a dude assaulting your performer on stage, and you're doing absolutely nothing. Eventually what happens is, after about 30 seconds of this assault on stage, a couple of audience members finally get up and help restrain the guy and get him off the stage. Turns out the guy leaves the stage under audience member like restraint, goes outside, takes off his shirt, and comes back in to try to start some more stuff.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell was going on with that audience member, and you did preempt it by saying the comic wasn't poking fun at him or anything, or maybe, but even if he was kind of making fun of this guy, that's still not an appropriate response.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If you get your feelings
assault
hurt,
is never the right response.
Yeah, if you're a snowflake and you get your feelings hurt by some comic on stage, you can walk out. That's your best revenge.
Right. You can even demand your money back.
Yes.
Write a strongly worded letter.
Go on Yelp, Yelp.
Yeah, exactly. But don't get up on stage and turn the mic stand into a lightsaber and just start swinging.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I've never been attacked on stage, personally. That sounds... I have had visions of that happening sometimes. So, have you ever daydreamed about being attacked on stage?
No, I think no. I've always been pretty calm. Though I will say, one time in my life, I was doing the ESPN New Mexico Bowl, and I had two teams that hated each other up on stage, and these guys are giant refrigerator human beings. Like, they tower over me, and I'm 6'1". And I had them come up to the face-off podium, and I was like, all right, gentlemen, shake hands. And they just wouldn't do it. They just stared at each other. And there was that moment where I was like, okay, if I don't do something, what's going to happen is these two guys are going to start slugging it out on stage, and then everyone is going to rush the stage. And so I got right in between them, and I'm big enough that I'm at least a force enough to be reckoned with. I mean, they could fold me like paper, but at least I'm like close to their eye height. And I was like, you have to touch gloves or we can't keep going. And so they did. They touched knuckles and we kept going. And I felt like that diffused the situation, because then it became about sportsmanship, not about nothing about respect, just about sportsmanship. And I had to keep that going the entire time. But I remember very specifically that moment, because I thought to myself, well, I'm about to lose control of this, and what we're going to have is a 300-person bar fight right here. So that was pretty scary. All right, what about you, man?
That sounds terrible. I've never had. I don't think I've ever had that much tension in the room. But I remember a show. I can't remember what it was. It was in the South. I remember that, and I remember the guy. It was at a school. I remember who booked the booker. We were talking before, and he was talking about the security guards they're going to have in the audience. And I was thinking to myself, why is there security? Like, I didn't really question it so much. I was just like, oh, okay. Have you had problems? I asked, have you had problems before? And he's like, sometimes our students get a little riled up. And so they had 4 security guards, like 2, well, kind of like making a square. So 2 in the front of the audience on the sides of the near the walls, and then 2 in the back near the walls. And they were just there in case things got out of hand, because he said they had some performer and things got kind of crazy. So nothing happened. I mean, there was a lot of energy in the room, that's for sure, but nothing violent.
Well, I was doing a show at the I don't want to put this school on blast. We still worked them from. It was a school in Arkansas.
Oh, that one.
I'll say that. Yeah. It was a school in Arkansas, and I'll never forget. I handed a $5 bill to an audience member for helping out, and this chick who was clearly drunk but also very agitated elbow dropped him in the nuts. And then grabbed his $5 and then put it in her pocket. And the dude, it wasn't a joke. I mean, he got hardcore elbow dropped in the nuts. And so he's doubled over and trying real hard not to cry. And I was like, "Oh, absolutely not. You don't get to nut drop somebody in my audience." So again, I just had to wait him out. I was like, "This is my show." And I gave it to that guy. You can't just assault him and rob him. So finally she gave it back, and he was like, thank you.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it was awful. And over $5.
Yeah. Oh, man. I remember Monday Clubber Norman Ing. He used to do this thing where he told me this story years ago where he used to make $500 or $600 appear at the beginning of the show, and he had some guy, I think it was a dude. Some dude ran up after he put it down. He put it on a stool off to the side of the stage. He grabbed the $600 and ran out of the theater with it.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Did they catch the guy? Do you know?
I think they got him. Yeah.
Oh, I bet Norm's heart just dropped.
Yeah,
He's like, well.
But if you know anything about magic, it was a Hyundai 500, so he stole some secrets too.
Yeah, I bet he did. He's a little sticky-handed.
Oh, man. Steve Brown, man, we're with you here on Monday Club. Cheers to you.
We are.
I hope
Cheers
you never
to
get
you.
attacked again.
And also, your security team at that club, you guys all suck. You should totally be fired. Be better at your jobs.
Prepare yourself for the Dirty Little Football Quiz. Hey, guess what? The Patriots are still playing. Woo! Hey, Gus, how are your teams doing? The 5 that you picked.
They're all out of the stupid race. My Minnesota Vikings. I was in an airport at a B-Dubs at a Buffalo Wild Wings, watching the Minnesota Vikings, and it was like the last chance for one of my teams. I had 5 teams at the beginning of this year. Last chance for one of them to make it to the stupid Super Bowl, and they got stomped. They just got stomped, and. I think that means by default I lose.
Yeah,
this
you
bet.
have lost the bet because at the beginning you picked 5 teams. Only one of them had to go to the Super Bowl. I stayed with one team, my New England Patriots, and they are in the Super Bowl. So one of you guys out there in Monday Club Land, you have to post on Twitter or Instagram, or not Instagram. You can't post there to us, but Facebook about what Gus needs to do as his dare challenge.
As my penance as the loser of the dare. That's right. One of you out there gets to go ahead and say what I need to do to make up for my crushing loss to Pete. Dude, I'm really sad because I was looking forward to both of us having a dog in the fight in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that would have been cool if the Vikings won. I don't know what the hell happened with that game. Oh, my God.
It was ugly.
Yeah.
It was an ugly, ugly game. Anyway, here, Pete, to you and your New England Patriots and that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, the New England Patriots beat out the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-20 in a crazy game ender. The Jaguars were pretty much up the entire most of the game from the second quarter on, and the Patriots, Brady to Danny Amendola in the back of the end zone for an amazing, beautiful catch. Brought it in for the touchdown to come ahead, and that was the end of it. It was enough for the Patriots to win. It was an amazing game. Rob Gronkowski went out with a concussion, though, so that was crazy. He went out in the second quarter. Hopefully he'll be A-okay, and hopefully he'll be okay for the Super Bowl in 2 weeks.
So this is a small tie-in for our Dirty Little Football quiz, but in looking for some quotes for this week's Dirty Little Football quiz, I came across for the second time the Rob Gronkowski erotic fiction. It made me laugh. All right, man. Well, here, Pete, congrats for your team making it all the way to the big game. Man, I can't tell you how disappointed I am in myself and my family for the fact that we lost this challenge. But still, it was a long way in coming, and Pete, congrats to you and your New England Patriots. Look, you guys, we know you guys don't all come here for your football knowledge, just like me, to support Pete and his undying love of the New England Patriots. So, we still have I guess this is the second to last of the erotic football quiz.
Well, we do have an off week. It's the Super Bowl's in 2 weeks, so we could do two more after this.
All right. So we're coming down to the wire of this erotic football quiz. Here's the way this works. We found that the same words that are used in football are some of the same words that are used in erotic fiction. I'm going to read 3 quotes of erotic fiction to Pete. His job is to identify the word that is football-related, to define that word, and then to use the football definition in the erotic sentence. If he can do that 2 out of 3 times, we are going to buy one of you Monday Clubbers out there a free drink from us to you. So, Pete, you ready to play?
Let's do it.
All right, man. So this first one is from a rapper by the name of Juvenile, okay?
All right.
Goes like this. I like it like that. She's working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me.
Slow motion. No?
Sure.
Yeah? Back.
So, it's funny. I never even thought about slow motion being a football thing, but more specifically for the one that I was doing, what of those 2 words?
Motion.
Pick one of them. Motion is the correct. All right. Define motion.
Motion is when a receiver goes in motion, so he runs from one side of the field to another prior to the ball being hiked.
Okay, yeah. Motion can be used to cause mismatches. Other forms of motion are used before the snap in order to mess up the defensive coverage. Yeah, you got it.
I like it like that. She's working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow. Have a back run from the other side of the field to the other to cause confusion for the defense for me.
Oh, man, that was great. Good job.
I was using my...
your rap skills?
Rap skills that you taught back in episode whatever. I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, I could see that, man. I saw the head bobbing. That was good. All right, here you go. Here's your second quote. All right. They couldn't both have her. It was clear they had to settle this man to man.
Man to man.
Man to man is correct.
All right. If I saw man to man in erotic fiction, I would think they were using it in a different context, personally.
Trust me, I had to skip around.
Man to man, that's a type of coverage. So instead of playing zone defense, you're playing man to man, where each defensive player is on a offensive player covering them.
That is correct. Man-to-man is a defense in which all players in pass coverage, typically linebackers and defensive backs, cover a specific player.
They couldn't both have her. It was clear that they had to settle this. A defense where each defensive player covers a specific offensive player.
Good enough! There you go! Oh, my God. All right. To be perfect, here we go. This one's dirty. All right. Slowly, but with considerable strength, she took me by the hair and brought me to her sweet muff.
Whoa.
All right.
Wow, yeah. I'm going to go with strength.
No.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
Good job, Gus.
Thanks, buddy.
I want to say muff.
Muff is a correct answer.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, I know, right? I was just surprised.
Joking. I was expecting to lose this one. I was just going to go with the joke.
Do you know what muff is in the context of football?
I have no freaking clue, man.
So I read the definition first before I went to find this in a quote, and it made me laugh so hard that I cannot wait till I actually see a football game where they say he muffed the kick. But muff is an actual football term. It goes like this. It's when a fumble occurs on the field or the ball hits a player unexpectedly. In certain situations, the ball is live and any team may claim it by picking it up. When a player attempts to claim possession of a loose ball and misses, it's called a muff.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So the real easy definition is when a player attempts to claim possession of a loose ball and misses, it's called a muff.
Do I have to use it in a sentence?
Yeah. I mean, you get to say muff.
All right. Okay. Slowly, but with considerable strength, she took me by my hair and brought me to her suite when a player tries to claim possession of a ball but misses.
There you go!
Muff.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pete has not only said muff 3 or 4 times in the last couple of seconds, it is also clear that he has won the challenge, and that means one of you out there is getting a free drink! Congratulations, my man. All right, so this week, if you want to claim your free drink, it's really easy. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page, be the first person to write your own erotic sentence. It has to have this week's secret word, which is muff.
Yeah, good choice.
And end the erotic sentence with, I want a free drink. You do that, and we will send you a free drink. So remember, the phrase that pays is muff, and I want a free drink in your own erotic sentence on our Facebook page. Congrats, Pete.
Thank you.
Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road.
So our news segment of the guy that got his, the guy that got attacked on stage today in our news segment reminded me of a story that happened to me years ago. I was doing a show at a college, and I was doing some close-up magic to promote the show. And this was in the dining hall prior, and I came upon this group that knew me already. They probably saw about the show and looked me up on the internet, and so they were like already fans. They were excited for the show, and I'm usually like, "This is great, awesome." But then they started to get a little weird. It was a couple specifically that a guy and a girl, and they kind of started hitting on me together. And then they started telling me that they were married that's kind of weird not weird, but uncommon when you find a couple that's in college together married at that age, 18 to 21-year-old. And so they kind of set off some creeper vibes on me right from the beginning. And and so that happened, and then the show's going, and they're sitting in the front, and the show's a normal show. It's going great. And then I'm into the last thing I do is a straitjacket, right? And I act all crazy to music and whatnot. And I remember going over to the side of the stage that this guy was sitting on, and I was pulling the straitjacket over my head, and I just kind of peer into the audience at him in the first row, and he's got his shirt up to his neck, completely exposing his chest for me.
What?
Yeah. It was weird. I was like, okay, that's a first. That's never happened to me.
Right?
And so it wasn't a big deal for the audience because they didn't see it, and there was lots of music going on. And so that happened, and the show ended, and I'm signing autographs afterwards, chatting people up. And him and his so-called wife, I guess, came up to me and asked me if I wanted to go hang out with them. And they were like, hey, you want to go smoke? You want to go smoke some pot with us? We're going to go, and I'm like, no, thanks. I'm okay, but thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming to the show. And so that happened, and then they leave, and I pack up, and I go back to my hotel, which is in the same town as this college, and I'm just, winding down after the show, doing whatever on my computer, reading a book. I don't even remember, and it's late at night, 11 midnight, somewhere around there, and I get a call from on the hotel phone. Not my cell phone, the hotel phone, late at night.
What?
Yeah. And I pick up, and the person on the other end tells me that this is the president of the school I just performed at, and that he was informed that I was smoking marijuana with students. And I immediately, when you're accused of something like that, you're
right.
You don't start questioning things. You just say, no, I was offered by some students tonight, but I declined. I went back to my hotel room. I was a good little boy. I didn't do anything bad.
Yeah.
And but they were very adamant about that, and they kept pressing me and saying, well, we're gonna, and it ended. We're gonna look into this, and we'll get back to you. And I hung up the phone all nervous, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is the end of my career. Word's gonna get around that I smoked weed with students,
Right.
And about 5 or 10 minutes later, the phone rings again, and it is the president again calling and again accusing me of smoking weed with their students. And I, again, by this time I've had time to collect my thoughts, and I'm thinking to myself, there's no way the president of the university is calling me at midnight, the night of
At
the
a
show,
hotel.
at my hotel, to confront me about smoking weed with their students. If this was a real call, it would be happening probably a day or two later on my cell phone, which is linked to my 800 number, and
Right.
it wouldn't be the president. It would probably be like the dean of students or something like
Right.
that. So when I pick up, I'm extremely skeptical at this point, and so I immediately start saying, hey, I know this is you. I can't remember whatever their name was, and I used their name. You got me. I was like, you got me. I was really nervous at first, but that was funny. A good job.
Right.
And I just kind of congratulated them on the prank, and eventually they just hung up, and that was the end of that. So it was the guy that was showing me his chest during the show, and he was trying to mess with me. He figured out where I was staying and called my room. And from then on, I made sure the door was locked and had that little door lock on a chain attached to the door to my hotel room.
Oh, yeah.
I almost didn't go to sleep that night. I was a little creeped out.
Oh my God, dude,
Yeah.
that's kind of a scary story. Like, it's one thing for people to sort of on the sly be like, hey, do you want to come and show us your magic wand? Like I mean, that's its own deal. But like them tracking you down and finding out where you stayed, and then actually calling and then calling again, that is creepy. Because now you feel like, well, shit, they know where I live. Like, or you know what I'm saying? Like they know
Yeah.
where I'm staying tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was uneasy. And then, and the first part, it was pretty believable like when you're accused of something, you don't think of the rationality of everything. So that first call, I was so on the defense, just like trying to save my ass. And then after the phone hung up, I started to think about things. I'm just like, that's no way that's the president. That's ridiculous.
It's funny in those situations because I think your hindsight brain kicks in, right? Like in hindsight, you think to yourself, oh man, I wish I had said this or asked this question or like responded this way. But absolutely, like when something like that happens, your first reaction is just self-preservation. You're like, oh no, that's not what happened. Like, I've screwed up a lot in my life, but that wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
So, and especially since they called you in your I'm sorry, man. That is both a terrible story and also just super creepy. I think I would have moved hotel rooms at that point in time because I do not want someone knowing where I'm sleeping.
Yeah,
after a show.
I thought about it. I thought of just packing up and going to the airport at that point and sleeping in the terminal. I'd be much safer, I think, in an airport terminal sleeping than in the hotel. But
yeah,
I did. Yeah, I did stay. So.
Oh man, ugh, that's gross. Well, I'm sorry about that, bro. Let's see. I had a sort of, I don't want to call it creepy. I am going to call it awkward experience in my stories from the road this week. So. I've done a couple of game shows this past week, but I've also ended up doing a handful of what we call our photo mug gigs, where we take people's picture and we put it on a coffee mug, just like our famous Monday Club coffee mug.
Oh, yeah,
so doing that same kind of thing. Anyway, I was at a school. Actually, man, I'm gonna be honest. I think. 2 of the schools that I've been at so far have done this where they are see how I can put this. I think that students, college students especially, are in a space in their life right now with technology and social media and all that where their image is more important than ever in their worldview. I think that when I was in high school, sure, my image was important, and I think that's probably true throughout time with high school kids. But especially right now, it's in high school and college, your Instagram, your social media can be really, really influential in your life, or at least it feels that way. So these people have been showing up, and they do not want to take a picture. They're just absolutely terrified of getting in front of the green screen and taking a photo that day. They don't have makeup on. They don't have the right clothes on. They're just not ready for a photo. And so what they've been doing is coming up and giving me their phone and being like, "Can you take this picture off of your phone, off of my phone, and use that as the picture?" Okay, which I sort of get, right? Like you don't want to, you don't feel like you're looking your best that day, and you want to have a picture that you feel happy with. So I sort of get that. But dude, recently, like I said, in the last 2 gigs that we've done, some of the pictures that they've given me are ridiculous. Like them in lingerie or them in nighties, them in bikinis, them taking a selfie in a public bathroom, so you can see them looking at their phone while they're taking a selfie of the mirror that's taking the picture of them, with like a bathroom stall in the same picture with feet underneath the bathroom stall. like ridiculous ass pictures, right?
Oh,
and
my
then
God.
I'll be like, well, I mean, okay. And so I'll use that picture, and then it's just awkward to have like some chick in a bikini on a photo mug like on our computer. And so then I'm like, well, I guess let's go ahead and move right along to the next photo, Anyway, it's just been awkward and weird, and it's made me think, because as awkward and weird as that's been, I also totally get that there are people out there who their social media, their Snapchats, their Instagrams is how they feel like a rock star in their own little world, and that it can be a real thing. Like, there are people out there who have put on social media things like, hey, how many likes or retweets will it take for me to get a free jacket from this place? And some of these companies have gone back to them and been like, I mean, if you can get us 250 retweets, then we'll hook you up. And so they will. They'll hit their social media and expand it to their friends and end up getting some free stuff. So, like, I get that social media is a powerful thing. It's interesting how scared people are right now of taking a bad picture or looking foolish or bad in a green screen photo when they're not ready for it.
Yeah, where's the sense of humor about, like, looking goofy or doing something silly that,
Right. Right.
It seems like it's gone. On the retweet thing, there's the guy from Stranger Things, actually, which you're going to be watching soon. The cop the actor that plays the cop got a tweet from some girl who was a fan and said, "How many retweets if you take your senior portraits with me?" And he said some crazy number. I think it was like 50,000 or 25,000 retweets. And then he was like, "But I get to hold a trombone and wear the school sweatshirt." And so she got enough retweets, and so she posted the pictures. He did it. He made good, and she posted the pictures of her senior photos, and they're standing together, and he's holding a trombone with the school sweatshirt, smiling, so like
Dude,
proper.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Props to you, Hopper.
Yeah.
Like that's really, really awesome, and it proves my point. Like, that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like that's why they're so concerned with their image.
Yeah.
So,
but it's so funny because Hopper, the guy who plays Hopper, isn't so concerned about his because he's like he looks great for doing this for this girl.
Right. He comes across like a superstar.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, man, that's sort of what I've been up to. I've been doing game shows and mug gigs for the last week.
Be prepared to look silly on your mug.
Yeah, don't be scared. Enjoy life. Life's not about looking perfect. Teachable moments.
I feel like we just had a teachable moment.
Yeah, I do too. That was a bonus teachable moment.
My teachable moment this week is for parents out there. If you're a parent, here's something I learned from my brother-in-law. There's a YouTube channel out there called Truck Tunes, and if you have a kid that likes trucks, and my kid loves trucks and construction equipment, this thing, if you show them this channel, they're not going to want to watch anything else. So it's just either stock footage or homemade footage of construction trucks, excavators, bulldozers, garbage trucks, buses, cement mixers, you name it, it's on there. And they've made all original music to go along with it. So it's like, don't fuss, ride the bus, and it's like all kind of electronic and like kid sounds as well. And he just wants to watch trucks all the time. He always comes up to watch trucks, watch trucks, watch trucks, watch trucks. And so that's a pretty amazing YouTube channel for all you parents out there.
Pete goes the parent route. All right, what's the YouTube channel again?
Truck Tunes.
Truck Tunes.
And it's
all
funny
right.
because the name of the video, or some of the videos it starts off 1 hour of all trucks to music, so it's like advertising 1 hour to parents. It's like this. So it's basically saying the subtext is, I will entertain your child for 1 hour straight while you go do something else.
That's awesome. Yeah. When Bryce was really little, there was some YouTube videos that were like that were like, they had like 18-wheelers or Bigfoot monster trucks, and there was this weird genie guy that would take the kids in the video around and sing songs to them and stuff. And I knew it was like, I'd put that on and be like, all right, I got 45 minutes to take a shower. I can just leave my kid downstairs by himself. He's fine. He's not going to move. It's I get that.
That's
all right,
great.
man. Well, cool. Well, so my teachable moment this week is something that I actually learned last night. I had a late night flight coming back from New Orleans back to Austin, and I went and I sat down in my usual chair, which is on a Southwest flight, which is about 2 or 3 rows back from where the wing is, and the air stewardess, what are they called? Flight attendant, right? The flight attendant came over and engaged me in conversation, and normally I don't know, man. Flights are awkward to start off with. Like, you don't want to be too chatty, but you also want to be respectful and responsive to things. Anyway, this flight hostess came over and started talking to me, and I just engaged her in conversation. And through engaging her in conversation, I realized that what I was actually doing is a new game and a new defensive strategy for everyone out there. So I want Monday Clubbers, if you fly, next time you fly, try this strategy, okay? Here's what you do. Get a seat that is sort of towards the back of the airplane. The front of the airplane always fills up with people who are itching to get off the plane as fast as possible, which, saves them, like a minute and 30 seconds, right? So, whatever. Towards the back of the airplane, not too far back, but at least past the wings, a couple of rows past the wings. Then what you want to do is you want to try to engage your flight stewardess in a conversation. All right? I don't care what it is. Ask about, hey, how often do you fly? How long have you been doing this? Like those kind of questions. Just keep them talking. Because what they'll do is they will stand in your row having a conversation with you. They're just as bored as everyone else. So they'll sit in your row or stand in your row and talk to you. What that does, Monday Clubbers, is it blocks the entire row so that you can have an entire row all to yourself. And it was mind-blowing. All these people kept passing us while she's sitting there talking to me, and then I looked, and she's like, all right, well, I got to go do my in-flight thing, and she left, and I realized I had an entire row to myself, and I was like, genius! It's genius! Super genius!
You get the applause. That's amazing. That's fantastic.
Right. So that's your challenge, Monday Clubbers. See if you can engage in conversation long enough that you get a row all to yourself.
Here's the asterisk, though. It only works on Southwest Airlines for two reasons. One is that you get to choose your own seats. You're not assigned seats. And for two, they have flight attendants that are the only flight attendants that are nice enough to talk to you for like 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah. That's absolutely true. Yeah, that is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was my teachable moment. It's a fun new game I'm going to keep trying to play.
All right. Well, that was episode 45 of Monday Club. Go Pats. Thank you guys so much for being part of Monday Club. Make sure you check us out, MondayClubPodcast.com, Facebook.com/Monday Club Podcast, Twitter, Monday Club Pod, Instagram, Monday Club Podcast. Email us questions, comments, concerns, buy us a drink, PayPal us at MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much to James Caldwell, our sound engineer, and to Zach Holder for our music. And thanks for being part of the club, and enjoy this monumentous Monday. I'm one for alliteration.